we're here with another episode of 2Techies. Don't worry, you don't have to be nervous, Yolanda. It's not that kind of show. It's already easy. Here for Digital Grass. Whole thing of 2Techies is for us to find more entrepreneurs, more people in the tech scene. Primarily supporting what we have is called We Are Tech. So it's women, minorities, and LGBT community. So trying to highlight different people. Just want everybody to get opportunity. So heard a lot of great things about you. So we were told,
what kind of things?
Get her before she go. So Yolanda, when did you fall in love with tech?
That's a good question. I actually fell in love in tech when I was in high school. I wanted to be a computer science geek and then merged that with teaching. And so I actually want to be a teacher in math, music, and technology. That didn't happen in the right order, but I think for me, I really was curious about web design when it wasn't popular. And so at that time, I mean, there was C++, there was C, Java, coding, and it wasn't really what it's been formulated to be now. But I think at that time, I really was passionate about it. It just didn't go in that direction. I think now my passion is really looking at photography and how you use elements of design and technology to really tell stories. So I'm currently involved in that now. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. So that kind of goes into the question I was going to ask you. Like, what exactly are you currently doing with tech? So that's the thing, huh?
Yeah. So
visual storyteller.
Well, it's something like that. I mean, currently my 9-to-5 job is with World Business Chicago.
Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about World Business of Chicago? Not too much that to get you in trouble, because this is about you. But just enough so we understand exactly what that is.
Yeah, so World Business Chicago serves as a nonprofit economic development firm that's chaired by the mayor of Chicago. And so what we do is really promote the city in terms of looking at business development and really highlighting what's happening within the Chicago scene. So that varies from the industry of industrial companies, looking at manufacturing and really promoting what's going on here, as well as our tech community. And so what we do is work with companies who are either looking at relocation opportunities, expansion, and retention. So we essentially market the city of Chicago to let people know that Chicago is really booming within various industries.
So you're kind of like the Knight Foundation of Chicago.
More or less, I would say. But yeah, we try to do as much as we can to involve the tech community, looking at firms that are focused on financial services, opportunities within the manufacturing center, really looking at all the different industries in Chicago that are doing really well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit more of a relaxed question.
Uh-oh.
To get you to chill out. What is your favorite drink, or what is your favorite craft beer?
I don't really drink.
You have one.
I have one.
Social gathering, you got that one go-to that you're comfortable with.
Maduri Sour.
Really? That's like Kool-Aid.
Do we really need to, you know what? Next question.
That's cool.
I don't drink.
When you come to Miami, we're going to get you as many of those as you want. That might be like the cheapest drink for us to buy.
We need to delete that whole question. Drinking Kool-Aid. Okay.
All right. So your business life. If your business life was based off of a movie or a TV show,
oh my gosh,
what would it be?
Ooh. Can I say what I would want it to be?
Yeah.
It would have to be something Marvel.
Marvel?
Yes, something where you are this person by day and at night you're a different person.
So come on, where we going? Is this, what's the Jessica girl that just came out recently?
No, she's crazy.
Okay, so you ain't crazy. I just had to hint towards that.
I have crazy moments. I'm not crazy like her.
Okay.
Ooh, I would say Flash.
Flash?
The female version, yes. Because he's smart, and he's around a smart group of people, and he can't do what he's able to do without that team. So I like that.
I feel like I want to see Flash raw, though. I want to see Flash in a Daredevil kind of setting.
I don't have time for that.
See, Flash is just too... The TV show was too safe. In the comic, he was a little bit more raw.
It's also on CW. So
exactly. I want Flash on Netflix.
I can do Daredevil. I do like the concept of it. I mean, they are.
I'm thinking artistically, the blind element, seeing the world.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you. So Daredevil.
Okay, I'll choose Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. Daredevil. That's a good one.
Okay. In your field, just in general, what do you feel are some of your biggest challenges that you're facing currently?
I think just the honest conversations about inequality within the business climate, whether it be tech, whether it be just access to capital, whether it be just really having honest conversations about disparities within particular communities where we're looking at access to jobs, access to actually good jobs, quality jobs. Again, I don't focus just on tech. I focus on a number of different variations within business development. But I would say more so in the tech scene, I think I'm looking at the diversity issue as it deals with race and gender. That's been a huge challenge. I've had a number of conversations with folks, and the challenge of getting either access to capital or recognition of what they're doing has been really difficult. And how do you be able to be an advocate for those spaces and those stories that are taking place, and at the same time really affirming that we have a long way to go because we're not where we need to be.
And that's one of the biggest things we've had conversations about is that it's not close to where it should be.
Not even close.
And I know one of the sayings that a lot of people have heard me say is this isn't a new problem, it's just a new sector.
Thank you.
We've had the same problem with engineers.
Yeah.
We've had the same problems with doctors. We had the same problems with lawyers.
Yeah.
That's why you have the National Bar Association. That's why you have NSBE.
Yeah.
You know, these are same issues. It's just now this is a new thing.
Yeah.
So I guess with that being said, when you hear the words now, when you hear diversity and inclusion, what's your initial gut reaction? Like hearing the words these days, how does that actually make you feel?
I think that's a great question. I think Will Smith said it best, where issues of police brutality within particular communities, it's not getting larger, it's just being captured. It's being captured on film. And so I think you're right, it shifts in different in spaces. And I think for me, when I hear those conversations, I almost get concerned because it becomes a gimmick, it becomes a facade or a fashion thing to really talk about because it's hip and we want to address it, but we don't want to get to the core issue of what's really going on in that space to address it sustainable.
And I believe there's a problem, like hearing you say that, just it brings up other emotions within me, and it just makes me feel like if people really want to fix the problem, the solution's already in place.
Yeah.
So to make it a hot topic, it's no longer going to be enough. You know, you have the elements of companies that mandate it.
Yeah.
They would mandate a certain amount of jobs, or they would make sure a certain amount of funding went to certain places.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't follow through, they at least tried to put this plan out.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that effort happening.
I think your points are valid, and I think at the end of the day, there's something really interesting to discuss when it comes to power. The sharing of power is critical, and I think when it comes to these conversations about diversity and inclusion, it's not about saying I'm going to help those people. It's about saying those people have always known what they've had to do, but we don't give them a plate, or we don't give them a table to really sit on and make decisions where I'm being empowered.
Right.
It's like this. So if you really want to bring that conversation in, you have to actually diminish your power and ensure that
It's
you
the
are
equity at
it's
this point.
equity.
It's
You know,
equity.
equality and equity are two different things,
Right.
and I think at the end of the day, people are doing well, but you're hitting a roadblock for whatever reason because you're not at the table, you're not a decision maker. And I think majority culture needs to understand that in order to actually share that power, you're going to have to decrease your influence or your power to ensure that other people have influence and opportunities as well. And that's not an easy thing to do.
You know what? But that's a powerful statement, because what you're saying, it's not about giving more.
It's not
It's
about
about
giving.
taking some away from
We do-
yourself to equal
yes.
the playing field.
We do not need philanthropy. I'm done. The concept of giving to help those people is a tax break, and it's again showing the power dynamic that that person has. When you invest in someone, when you have equity involved, there's a risk. And most people can be honest and say, I can't deal with the risk because my outputs, my return on investment is going to have an impact. When you empower communities, you're sustaining, you are diminishing your power to ensure that someone else can flourish. You're creating an even playing field.
So
and that's what we lack.
it's a difference between donate to my community versus invest in my community so we can also make money.
We don't have time for that anymore because we've seen so many examples of situations where it's only hurt our communities. Sometimes helping in that way hurts.
Right, because now they become dependent on it, and the people that are champions are just waiting for that little check to come in every year.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I remember investing in a class. I took a front-end development class at the start of the league. And in many ways, I would love for that program to be free because I don't have to be held accountable. I'm not putting money in. Maybe if I don't show up, it's not going to impact me. I didn't pay for it. If I put money and time, that's me. If I don't go to class, I'm missing out and I'm wasting other people's time and I'm wasting my own resources financially to be a part of that. It's a different mentality. And so when you invest, you put time, energy, and capital. It's not just about money, too. It's about opportunities to actually have people speak and engage and be part of the conversation. It's a totally different ballpark. It's not philanthropy. Yeah.
I mean, I think that goes with one of the statements that I've said before. You've already invited us to the party. Now it's time for you to ask us to dance.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Yes.
We're at the party. We
Don't
know where the
tell me how
party
to
is.
dance.
Yeah.
Don't give me instructions. Let me do it.
Yeah. Now I want to dance.
I like that.
With you. All right.
Yeah. Whitney.
We can just go through that. She just totally broke down. I mean, because we have great organizations that you're right. They're giving to an extent. And it almost feels like a Band-Aid. It almost feels like, at least I can say I've done this part.
Yeah.
But when are you going to go to those, and I guess you could say those leaders in those communities that you want to speak on your behalf?
Yeah.
When are you going to come back with $250,000, $3 million to invest into the businesses they're building, to actually employ the people that you want them to train?
Exactly. I mean, and to be honest, some of us have bought into that. Some of us are depending on that funding. It's a spotlight. It's an opportunity to say, my community is doing this and that. And I think at the end of the day, we have to really challenge our leaders too. I think we have people in power who look like us, but who've not realized that they have only created more chaos into what's happening because they're not challenging the system. Because when you challenge it, people end up fired. Your opportunities to mingle with powerful people are diminished. And so it's a hard thing, but we need to do that. We don't have a choice. We really don't. And we need to challenge our leaders in those positions of power to ensure that they are challenging the status quo. They're not always taking resources and money. They're actually investing in the people and holding our leaders accountable. That's really important.
So stop giving to my community. Start investing into my
Start
community.
investing and find the leaders within those communities who have been trying to do it themselves.
That's the part that bothers me the most. There's already champions there.
Yeah.
And it seems like we go into a community and the first thing they do is overlook the champions that's been there working forever.
It's this. Because in many ways, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've grown up in predominantly Latino communities, African American communities. I've grown up in a lot of different spaces, so it's been really interesting looking at the multicultural concept. And I'm going to keep it real. There's this fear of black people, most specifically with black men. And so when you look at someone who does not look like you, if you have a CEO of a company who's African American, it says a lot. I mean, I've had one black teacher when I was in elementary school and high school. It's shocking because you're just not used to it. So you have a different perception about even the abilities. And some people will say that. They'll question the nature of that person, if they're qualified, if they're able to actually do the job, because you don't see that. And so there's a fear dynamic, which people have to be honest about. Like, you just have fears of people in leadership based on the color of their skin.
So the unexpectancy leads to doubt. Exactly.
And so in many ways, you're not used to the unknown. So you make excuses to say, well, is that person qualified? Is that person able? I mean, it's in many ways, some of our leaders, including President Obama, a number of different people in leadership who have been questioned about their credentials, because it's not normal to see someone in that limelight is very abnormal, And it's not to say that they're perfect people either, but they have the credentials,
Yeah, we do. You got the liquor, right? You're right on top. Come on in. Actually, yeah. If you just bring it just a little bit, I'll take it up the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I understand. Real show, y'all. This is what's happening. I could talk to you all day. I'm so mad you got to go take care of that dog.
Sorry, Cabo.
Okay, so I got just a couple more questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the world is yours. You have access to anybody in the world you want to invest into you with their time, money, just total access. Who is that person?
So this is someone that I can just have a conversation with, investing.
They might give you money. They might just mentor you. You get to pick your mentor. This mentor might just give you the world. Who is that person going to be?
That's a hard one. Dang. I need more time on that. I don't know why the first person I thought about.
That's the one we want.
Lamont Hill. Yeah, what's
Lamont's
his name?
pretty sharp.
Lamont,
yeah.
you know why? I think he's definitely one of our, I would say, hero leaders who are really talking about critical issues, but in a lens that is inclusive to all types of people. I think that he's
pushing the envelope without people realizing what he's doing.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical when he joined VH1, and that was my own bias, but I see why he's doing it. And I think
he has to get that crowd.
He has to get that crowd. Yes. And what I love about him too,
how else you gonna get the people that's watching Love and Hip Hop?
But exactly.
Exactly.
And I can go ahead and assume and judge that he, is about that demographic, but he's very intentional with what he does.
Right.
I would say him and maybe Spike Lee, because I feel like they have a very interesting perspective from a different generation, but they're trying to essentially do similar things within their creative lenses. And so with Lamont, I feel like for him, he is also engaging the conversation of class within the Black community with the work that he does, obviously in Morehouse, but the work that he does in Philly, he's still very connected to what's going on in Ferguson and in Chicago.
At times, I was worried about him too.
I was.
But I would say strategically, if I was going that route strategically, I would have wanted to be mentored by Prince. Take one talent of greatness and push it into everybody's face.
Why are you trying to make me look bad right now?
I'm just saying, because it
Rest
makes
in
sense
peace,
what you're
Prince.
saying. But it would be the whole thing. You would see me for one thing, but you would never know everything else I'm doing behind the scenes.
You know what's crazy about Prince? Prince was up there, but I almost think he should have been higher in terms of us recognizing what he has been doing for so long. And I think
but he didn't know. Nobody knew.
Nobody.
Was very
but you know
strategic.
what? He was strategic too, and I think his faith really propelled him to not tell people about it. He was doing stuff with tech. He was doing stuff, that related to free concerts in the community.
I'm going to tell you how crazy the tech part was.
Yeah.
First time I really got involved in tech, and I came back and said I got to do something different, was Essence Festival.
Oh my, when'd you go?
The year he performed.
Oh my gosh, I remember when Beyonce performed. Okay. I was so mad I didn't go when Prince performed.
So I went there. Joey Womack, one of my fraternity brothers who actually got into, he told me to come to this event. And I went there and mentored the kids.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Prince launching. That's the only reason why he performed at Essence. And I actually got to see him. They gave us free tickets that night. And I was trying to figure out, how did they get tickets for the Prince concert? So I'm trying to figure all this out. And I remember watching Van when he was crying and talking about everything Prince did.
Oh, yeah, that was deep.
I was like, not only was that how I got to teach those kids that day, not only was that how I got the tickets, everything that was happening that night was because of what Prince was doing, which is why everybody that mentored got free tickets to his concert that night.
That's powerful. And I remember reading Essence Magazine. Blue 1647 was in that. They had a list of different tech gurus that were doing really powerful things. Blue 1647 was in there, which
and I'm
is
sorry,
beautiful.
It's Power Moves. We're not even giving
no,
credit.
it's okay.
It was Power Moves.
Power Moves was in there.
Power Moves Nola made that happen for me.
Yeah, Power Moves. Prince was in there, and I was just thinking to myself, what in the world is Prince doing in tech? It threw me out, but he was very intentional too.
Hold on one second. Back to the liquor. You're looking for somebody to pay you at this point, right?
I think Thomas is
upstairs. You're looking for a gentleman named Thomas. He's gonna kind of look like this guy with a little bit more hair. Same kind of beard and everything. Right.
No, I'm so happy you brought that up, though. That's a good. And again, he was definitely a genius in so many realms, but he was always trying to tell Black people, you are powerful, you are all-knowing.
He was very inspirational, and he did it on national platforms. Whenever he came out to speak, he said something.
Always.
Every time he was on the, it was subtle now.
It was
because of his, like you said, his religion.
Yeah.
He would drop a gem, but you would have to listen to it about 6 times and be like, did Prince just tell me to tell off?
That's true.
Did he tell me to just revoke?
You're right. I'm thinking about it too.
He would drop 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And that'd be it.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. I might have to revoke mine.
Now, I hope I didn't influence you too much, but so there's a soundtrack to your life. You get to pick one album or one song. What is that album or what is that song?
The album. Wow.
You only get one or the other now. An album or a song.
It would be India. her
India Irie?
Volume 2. Yeah, Volume 2, when she talked about faith, politics. Well, I'm forgetting the name. Because she had a Volume 1, Volume 2. The Volume 1 was deep. And she was going through a lot of just heartbreak. But Volume 2, it seemed like she was energized and she was ready to talk about everything. She talked about the ghetto. She talked about conflict. She talked about just racial things that were really impacting people. And so I think that would be a really good storyteller for what's happening in my life.
All right, so we're all in the game. There's always an end game. So I could already see what I think would be your legacy, which would be like some free tech school, but how are you defining your legacy? What's the legacy of Yolanda when you walk away from it all?
Service is key, and you don't always need to be in the spotlight to do it, whatever that means. I have to be careful about that. I do a lot. I'm not saying that to brag. I do a lot because I believe that everyone has a potential to be the best that they can be, whatever that means. And I think that in many ways, you want to be recognized and affirmed for what you do, but that shouldn't be the driving factor to why you do it.
Right, it should be.
It should be because you just got to do it. So, some people feel compelled to teach and they're in a 9-to-5 job. You don't have to leave your 9-to-5 job to teach. Maybe you should just teach in your volunteer time. The things that you love to do don't always have to be your 9-to-5. They can be the things that you do after work. It can be the weekend. You have so much that you can do. You don't have to restrict it just to your job. I think people try to define who they are by their career. And for some people, they have the blessing to be able to do what they love to do.
Right.
Does not mean that you can't do something that you love to do. You just may not be paid for it. And so always make sure that you are defining what makes you happy and you're doing it regardless of if it's in the category of volunteering, the category of your faith community, the category of, just doing it because your mother told you to do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter. Just do it and know that you don't have to receive accolades for everything that you do. Just serve.
Follow your passion.
Follow your passion and serve.
So I want the people to be able to reach you. So how do they reach you? Your social media accounts?
Not Twitter. I don't do Twitter.
Straight shit.
You can though. You can contact me. My bad. I don't do Twitter. I'm sorry. I don't tweet. You can catch me on Instagram, Yoli Chi Chi. I do have a photography business, Imagery by Chi. I don't know. Look me up, Yolanda Richards Albert. Yeah, Facebook.
All right. So our tradition for our meetings is that we close out with a final word. This one, I'm going to make sure we do it right. The word you say is going to be the end of this podcast. Not saying nothing after, but just from the energy from this podcast in general, what would be your final word for us to leave with?
Blessings.